I'm really thrilled to be back again at Norway. Last year was a lot of fun. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about images in WordPress. So, a little bit about me, if you didn't remember anymore. I'm Marko Heijnen, I'm in WordPress and sometimes I do mobile development. I worked at WordPress core for 3.0, 3.3, 3.4, 3.5 and I'm already busy with 3.6. I was a recent rockstar in 3.4 and with 3.5 I'm starting digging in image manipulation in WordPress that could be improved in so many ways. And I love to hack around in WordPress, so I have a really cool example to show you guys. So let's talk about 3.5 a bit, even 3.5.1, because there was a major bug I created that got fixed there. Always fun. So we have a lot of cool stuff hanging out in 3.5. Some stuff you maybe don't know, like you can add really easy a column in your overview of your post for your custom taxonomies. But today we are going to talk about the media library redesign and WP image editor class. So it's a little bit developish, but there are still some really cool use cases you have. So we have the complete redesign. So previously we had not that beautiful dialogue where you could select your images. There wasn't really a way to create a gallery on a good way. It was like a little bit magic. You have to add it to your content and it was like displaying in the gallery. So now we have like a really beautiful one. You see the pictures and you really can select them really well. You can move your image to it and it will upload it. You can now easily generate multiple galleries in one post. And you can edit it and say like, I want to have like 3 images next to each other, maybe 4, maybe 2. It depends on how your website is really small or really big. And you can say like, okay, where to redirect to? Should it go to like the image page or should it just go to the image itself? And that really depends on some of the use cases you have. Maybe you want to have like a really cool jQuery gallery where you press one of the images and can slide through. It doesn't work when you have like saying like, oh, it should go to the page where the image is showing. And you now have like a really cool representation of a gallery. Really simple, but not anymore a shortcode where you're like, I don't know what it is. And the client still has the same feeling. Maybe you was like even adjusting the shortcode, what you should not have done. And when you have really done it, you have a really cool gallery in your post. And I got a little demo to show you, where I show why it breaks. So we have 2 galleries. This is the first one, what redirects to this page. But the second one is showing really cool jQuery dialogue. The way of doing this is to really hack around how WordPress do stuff. And let me see. So here's example code. You see I use 2 filters to hack around. The filters are really not the things what I'm going to do with a filter. So the first one is really like, okay, what is this gallery about? Where is it going to link to? So is it linked to a file or is it something else? If it's to the file, we want to use our dialog. And the second one is really hacky around and maybe even can break WordPress, but probably not often. It's like saying like, okay, it is a link. So then add a separate class to it, which you can use in JavaScript to enable the dialog only if it links directly to images. So that's like the most dialogues really work. And you can find the example code on the website again. So on this link, I will put it on a slideshow. You can find how I did it and you can use it in your own code, in your own WordPress website. But that was fun, but there's something more important, like what I did, like WP image editor. It's not something you are going to touch, but there's something really specific to it. Like, you don't use any GD anymore. As a developer, you will love that because GD was like always like a little bit fake. You're not sure how it would work, but you now can use Imagic and Gmagic. And there are old and new libraries what also do image resizing, but in a much better way. You can also change like the quality of a PNG. It's not really important, but you have some use cases where you really maybe want to use it. And maybe you want to possibly change the MIME type. Say you have a lot of GIF images and you want to always have that to be in PNG. You can do it right now. But what about Imagine? What it really is? And the easy example is to show you an image. This is an image what is in GD. This one is an Imagine. Even on a Beamer, you see that the Imagine one is a little bit more clear. The contrast is better and the colors are way better. So what you get is like more happy clients, probably who are photographers, who really have high quality pictures they made with their expensive cameras. And that really matters, because if you really need a beautiful website, you really want to have like clear images, and the client, if he sees something like this, he's going to like, yeah, the images are not correct, they are not ugly, and you have to fix that. And before 3.5 you couldn't even fix it at all. So this is a code example. Cool, I have to translate it to English, I guess. You learn some Dutch words now. So what you do is like, okay, I want to get like an image editor. And you check, if it returns an error or not. And if it doesn't return an error, you can say like, well, I want to rotate it 90 degrees. I want to resize it for 300 with a crop. And I save it as a new image.jpg. If you can just call save without that parameter, and it will save like how WordPress will do it. So it will be cool image and then 300x300.jpg. And that will be correct. You will easily save it and it will store wherever that image is in. So when you want to resize images that are all like in plugin folder, in a cache folder, you can do it. Here are 3 examples what you can do with the new WP image editor. Before you had to do all kinds of GD stuff. Now you can just call resize. You get what WordPress normally do with add image sizes. So you can use the first example code to create images for sliders. So you don't have to you don't have to use add image size anymore. You can just say like, I want to create only one image for that specific image in your library. The second one is just a custom crop. You say like, I want to crop 300 by 300 pixels from the X and Y are where they are 0. And I don't want to crop. And the last one is more funky one, but sometimes you have clients who really want to have like their header image rotated 10 degrees, and you have to crop it on more cool medical way. So this is not really, this is a little bit funky and unclear with all those numbers, but basically what I do is like when you rotate it like 30 degrees, the width and the height is going to increase, because you have like all the black spots that isn't from the image. And you say like, oh, I want to crop it a little bit more better so the black stuff around the image is gone. They're funky stuff. With this, you can show to your clients like, oh, we can do more fun with your images right now. If you want to have like a filter on it, we can do it more easily, more predictable, and it will work even if WordPress is going to be updated. And the most funny stuff is, I don't know, how many people use WP Temp? A few. It now uses, instead of PHP Temp, it uses WordPress core functionality. It sounds really simple, but it's really awesome to have, because we encourage plugin artists to use as much as WordPress functionality as they can. And before they really couldn't do that, and now they can. And with WP Temp, they really prove like how they can use it, and even fix already a bug in what WordPress has. And we will solve it in 3 seconds, but they already solved it because they are allowed to. And before they didn't even notice it, but they even couldn't even fix it if they really wanted to. So, what's next for core? So we have 3.5, we have done it, and there are my ideas by the way. But what I would love to see is WP image. Because now with WP image editor, you can only use a file. But basically what you want to do most of the time is say like, I have this attachment ID and I want to create a custom example, custom example for it. And the point is, you've created an image, but the image is still not in WordPress. WordPress still doesn't know that image is created, so you still want to store it in the metadata of that image. So it knows that that size exists, and when you remove that image you created is also going to be removed. And hopefully with this class it helps out to make WordPress better, so we don't have to generate always the images like what you don't really want. So you would more want to go with like WP Thumb or like WordPress.com does, like generate images on the fly and remove them a day later if they are not needed anymore. And I'm not sure how many people really use the image editor. Probably not much, maybe a few. It's not really workable, really. I broke it even in 3.5. It's now workable again, but it's not really what you want. There's still some of the buttons are unclear what they want to do, and like if you're in the page and you want to add an image to the post and you want to maybe crop it a little bit, you have to go to several browser dialogue. There are some UX flaws in it that you really don't want. So what I would love to see is a dialogue where you can say like, okay, I want to edit an image. It opens a new dialogue, just like a new media flow has, and where you can do all the stuff. And it should be extendable, like with custom filters, like making it like sepia or something you would love to see. And be able, even this point is even more important, like be able to say like, I only want to edit like one of my custom sizes and not the rest. That's still a little bit vague because WordPress can only edit the custom sizes, so the thumbnail, the medium and the large. And obviously I have something really cool to see, let you see. So, you have the media and you can edit it. Previously, this button was opening a dialog inside this one, but I created a custom one. So what you see now is like you have to get a really cool image, and you can say like, oh, I want to make it grayscale, or maybe you want to make it a sepia color, or some really awesome stuff like I want to make it negative. And you can press save. It saves it like you would normally expect. You see some really cool Dutch stuff again. But you now save it again. Like normally you would do it too. But now you have like, you can do custom stuff like add filters to it. So what's really fun to do that is like, you can create your own Instagram in WordPress. So you don't have to use Instagram anymore. Their rules, you all know the stories. But you can now use your own WordPress installation for doing this. With even just a little bit of an example code. Still, it doesn't work that well yet as WordPress would expect, but you can see where it goes to. And you can see like, I can now own my own pictures on WordPress and I can do whatever I want to do. And this example shows you what you can do with WP Image Editor. It's not, the code itself is not really that much. It's like, let me see. So here you see the code. There's just GD filters running. And what I did was like creating a custom class with WP Image Editor GD, what WordPress has, and just extend it with random filters. It's not easy, it's really easy to do, and you really don't really need to have the GD knowledge because basically I did it in 20 minutes. I just searched on the internet and find filters, added to them to show you guys. And in this case I only did GD, but obviously I need to do Imagic and Gmagic also if I really want to support it. And here you, let me see, this one, here you see like what I did, like I enqueue the stuff from JavaScript, and what you see here is I add the editor to the screen. So what I did was like, okay, I used the filter, where you see in the top, I use the filter WP Image Editors, and I can add my custom ones. Really easy to do, just include the editor here. Say like, okay, this are the editors I want to include, so I still didn't do Image and Gmagic, so they are commented out. And I say I want to merge them together. So my filters are first, my editors are first, and then the WordPress editors are going to be last. So if my editor doesn't support some random function, it will go to the next one, and on till it doesn't have an editor, and it will throw an error. It's really simple code, and this one is like, this code is like checking, like if I apply the filter, is this able to apply the filter? So if I would add Imagic to it, you'll see still see the images, but without images, without errors, so it doesn't fail out even if you just tried it. It's really simple code. It's like 78 lines. This one, some JavaScript code to it, but it's really simple, really easy to use. And that was a little bit, in short, really fast, my presentation. I hope you liked it, and are there any questions? Okay, good.
Marko,
Yeah.
think about the resizing inside the media library. It seems like talking about resizing images for sliders.
Yeah.
How would you kind of go about that today then?
Basically, what I would like to see is like that you will still be able to use add image size, but you're really not. What I did now was creating this piece of code, so I can use it, and you can say like, oh, I have this attachment ID. It loads it. I can say and then say like with this piece of code like, okay, I have your slide is maybe 1000 by 100 pixel high. I can do that. Say it like year max height, width max height, and it will try to create one, and it will store it in the metadata. So this piece of code is a little bit helping that out, because if you have a slide you don't want to create from all your 10,000 of images in your media library to create that same image size.
Right.
Probably that was the question, right?
Yeah, because or else you have to upload them again for the correct slider size.
There's still some things I'm not sure about, like all the changes you apply. Should that be stored in WordPress, or is it like gone away, like now? It depends on the situation,
But this function will be added to core, or?
I hope so, but this is still my code, so still a lot of people have their opinions about it. I learned that with WP Image Editor, but I hope this should be added to core, because what we do now is like Mike Schroeder put a post on make.wordpress.org, and he was just saying like use an underscore function, so a private function in WordPress.
Okay.
But basically why he said it is that that's not a good way at this moment to do it. But I think we should be really happy that the code I wrote with Mike, with Nation, with Scribu is already in core. That makes it really easy for WP to use it, and for other people, like what I did with the filters. Before 3.5, that would be like a pain to do. What you do was like creating an image, save it on disk, then retrieve it from disk again, and then do your stuff.
Right.
That's stupid. But I hope that's answered your question.
Yeah, thanks.
I think, yeah.
With the image editor stuff, and presumably a WordPress install, you know, the server can either have GD, Gmagic, iMagic. Does that present a bit of a compatibility issue with plugin developers, maybe not always doing the 3 versions, like you said, or even possible versions that people haven't written yet?
What I hear when I was in WordCamp Toronto, that a lot of people will like ask me questions because they're getting like deprecation notices. So a lot of people were, and a lot of plugins, and maybe I saw like already 20 plugins that were using GD in their plugins. So I really hope they are going to look in the code and say like, oh, we want to do this, but we can't do it. So we can improve it even more for 3.6 then. Same with the issue you found, we should already have fixed in 3.5.1. But we would do it in 3.6, and the solution you had with WP10 was like brilliant. Still the hackish, but I can understand why you did it. So yeah, that were probably the questions.